Hi there, Albino238 here again, and I'm here with my younger brother Zach.
Hi there.
And this is my new My Thoughts on video. We're about to do a co-op video of it. This time we're going to take a look at another review, talking about another reviewer. This one is named Noah Antweiler, though you may know him as SpoonyOne. If you don't know about him, he is a reviewer of games much like Game King 53 and K-Wing, but he also reviews movies. So Zach, what do you think about SpoonyOne?
I personally would say that he's a very good in the comedy field and the reviewing field. The main draw to his reviews is that he makes very good points, and also that he has very good comedy. Such is the case with his TES Riff Theater. He makes very good comedy and makes very good points, and these two are the main draw.
I agree on that. Though I think he can be a little bit of a bastard when it came to his Final Fantasy reviews, especially how he was kind of hard on 8 and 10. But I do agree that he does make good points, and I think his reviews and his riffs are great. I think he does great work. So
how is he being a little bit of a bastard? Tell me.
Well, I think he was a little bit nitpicky on the games, because when it comes down to it, games like Final Fantasy and such are made for escapism, so you can't really be too hard on them for that.
Well, I look for escapism and realism in both, but the game sort of warps physics. Such as Spoony once said in the Blitzball in the Blitzball tournament, you can't throw a ball underwater. There isn't a ball you can throw underwater. There just isn't. Or as Spoony once said, you can't throw a volleyball underwater. You can't. You can't. I don't care if you're Harry fucking Potter and you fired the fucking ball out of a bazooka. The ball ain't moving like this. End quote. So what exactly is your problem with him?
I do agree with the blitzball thing. I think that was pretty stupid, and I can sympathize with some of the bullshit he puts up with in these games. But when it comes down to it, he admitted the gameplay was really good. You know, aside from all the nitpicks, he admitted the gameplay was great. And when it comes down to it, isn't it the gameplay that makes a game really good?
Well, I think that if it includes a plot, the plot should match the gameplay. I mean, like, think about this and see if it makes any sense. Flying Godzilla, Sin, attacks the future city of Zanarkand, and destroys it by, I'm not kidding you, flaking his dandruff on it, for those of you who haven't played the game. I know I haven't. So, anyway, some wimpy athletic kid gets transported into the future. Somehow. Though we don't know really how. So, does this make any sense? Or should we just move on?
I think we should move on, because we'll never resolve this issue. Anyway, let's get back to talking about Spoony. What are some of your favorite reviews by Spoony?
I would say the Privateer the Darkening review, and many of his TES, aka the Spoony Experiment, Riff Theaters, such as Dragon Strike and Captain Zero.
Yeah, I'll agree, those were really good. I also like his F&V Hell series of reviews, as well as his reviews of movies featuring Reb Chunkhead Brown, such as Robo War and Strike Commando, and especially Your Hunter from the Future.
I mean, I love those reviews too, but I love especially his Captain America review, where Captain America gets one badly choreographed fight scene in the entire review.
Yeah, that was pretty bad, I have to say. Anyway, aside from all that, Spoony has stopped posting videos on YouTube quite a few years back, and he started his own career with the Spoony Experiment, which we'll post links to his channel and his site down below. So what do you think about that move, Zach?
Well, I would say it's very good, and for several reasons. First of all, actually I have one reason, but it's a very good reason. First of all, he's got his own base of operations now. That goes over very well, and it makes you look like a respected member of the reviewer community, such as the fact that he's getting sponsorships from such companies as Mountain Dew from what I've seen, and even Starbucks, because they've had their ads up on his site as well.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that it gives him better opportunities, but I kind of wish he posted some of his newer work on YouTube, like his Robo War review and his Strike Commander review, and some, a lot of his other movie reviews, and especially his Alone in the Dark review, which he did with Linkara Nostalgia Critic. Which I don't know Linkara very well, but I will one day probably do a my thoughts on video on the Nostalgia Critic. Even though he's not a YouTube user, I would like to discuss some of his work as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we better go ahead and cut this video down. Any closing comments you want to make before we end this?
Certainly. I would say that SpoonyOne is a very good comedian and a very good reviewer, and I can see how he became popular. In my personal opinion, he's risen out of the dust and become a very, very good, very well respected reviewer, and I think he has a future. I think he has a future in the comedic field.
He certainly does. Anyway, Spoony, if you ever watch this, keep up the good work. We're rooting for you, man. You're doing good stuff. But don't be too hard on the Final Fantasy games, at least for my sake and for other people's sake, out there. But that's just me. My brother feels a little differently. Anyway, that'll be all. I'm Albedo238.
And I'm Zachary Garrett.
We hope you enjoyed this video, so later.